you are wishing to know more about fishing, you don't need a book. Just come and see the Hook and the Cook. If you are looking to know more about cooking, you know where to look. Just come and see the Hook and the Cook. Scotty will hook 'em, and Paul he will cook 'em.
They like to travel and learn new stuff.
Come and see the Hook and the Cook.
We get to do a bit of travel, and today we're going to head down the south coast of New South Wales to a lovely place called Kiama. Kiama is about 1 hour south of Sydney and is home to some great fishing spots, wineries and beautiful beaches. But first, we're going to stop off at Bombo Beach for a bit of fun.
As a youngster, I spent many hours surfing these southern beaches. Today we're going to head out there and have a surf, and later on check out Kiama.
Just another day in Australia. As you can see, I'm a bit rusty. I haven't been out for a while, and you do lose your surf fitness pretty quickly. But Scotty's getting a few out there, and it was anyway. The best surfer is the one with the biggest smile on his face, and I've got the biggest smile on my face today. That was unreal.
Because Paul didn't have much success getting a wave, he's convinced me it's time to head off to the Crooked River Winery. Established in 1998 in Gerringong, the winery is family owned and operated by Brian Jackson and his wife Narelle. Today Brian's going to take us through the Crooked River winemaking process. So Brian, what type of grapes are these?
These are called Chambourcin. They came from France years ago. It's a hybrid.
Yep.
Hybrid grapes are very easy to grow in this area. They have a sort of resistance to downy mildew and powdery mildew, so they're a great grape. And they grow big bunches, you can see.
Beautiful. They're so sweet to eat.
I say one bottle, one bunch, you know.
Yeah.
The bunches are so big.
That much
Nice
juice out of them.
Yeah, it's full of juice.
And Brian, how many different types of wine do you produce here?
Well, we produce around approximately 40 different wines, table wines.
Wow.
And we produce 5 different ports, and we're not allowed now to call the word port for reasons that it's been exclusive to Portugal, like champagne is to France.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we call it now?
We call it pajama vino.
I like that.
You know why we call it pajama vino?
Nah.
Because it tastes so much nicer if you drink it when you got your pajamas on.
Tell you what, if Scott keeps eating any more of these grapes, mate, it's going to be cutting into your profits.
Oh, you've got to eat a lot of these, I tell you.
They are fantastic.
We get about 720 to 750 litres to the tonne, which equates to just under 1,000 bottles of wine.
From a ton of grapes?
From a tonne of grapes.
Wow.
Just under.
Is there any chance that we can taste any of these wines?
As soon as
Brian,
possible.
I'm being a bit cheeky.
As
soon as possible. Doesn't take long and Brian puts us to work. Sitting down and drinking their wines is definitely easier than picking grapes.
Just grab hold of it. Yeah.
That's it.
It's pretty easy. Just one on either side. Don't cut each other's fingers off.
You got heaps of grapes on it, haven't you? Coming up, we take a closer look at what happens to the grapes after we pick them and get to sample some of the incredible tasting wine.
So here we are at the Crooked River Winery with our head winemaker, Michelle. And so what happens here, Michelle? Can you go through the systems and the process of making the wine?
Yeah, certainly. As you just saw, when the grapes arrived, they came in on the bins, and then basically we picked them up with the forklift and they're put into the crusher di stemma. That saves us pulling all the berries off. So all the stalks go out the back of the machinery, and then all the berries go through the crusher. And then basically all that does is split the skins. Once the skins are split, it goes straight into one of these receival tanks over here. And pretty much that's where that wine will stay now for the next week. So in the red wines, there'll be the skins, the seeds, the pulp, the whole lot, and we'll just turn it over continually for the next week until we're happy with the colour and the tannins. Then it'll go off into the press, and we press the juice off, and then after that it'll come over here and start its life in a barrel. So this is some of the juice we just did. So why don't you have a little bit of a taste of the
Yeah, that'd be great. So they're the grapes we picked this morning?
This is the grapes that you did this morning. So you see, even though that's just been picked, it's already got such great colour, and that's one of the good things about Chambourcin. So it's really sweet, and
That's lovely. It's great as a juice. It is so sweet.
It is, really is sweet. So, and already the colours come out of it, and you know that inside that's quite green. So that's where we get it all from. But
that's good.
No,
so
that's
just that colour's from the skin?
Just from the skin.
That's already
bled out of the skin into the juice. So,
wow, that's
because that's
fantastic.
only like 10 minutes.
So
straight through.
I noticed picking them, I had quite a lot of red stains.
Residue on your hands.
Chambourcin's notorious for that, for colour. It really is good colour.
Yeah. But it's a good eating grape as well, I reckon.
It's lovely,
I ate quite a few over there. I was picking them actually.
We'll have to weigh you two before you leave.
Because you guys don't know exactly what you want to start off with in tasting, and we make 40 different table wines, I'm going to ask you to try a pink Chardonnay.
Pink Chardonnay. I've never heard of pink Chardonnay, there you go.
Yeah, neither has a lot of other people, but I can assure you we've been making for about 3 years, and it's very popular.
Okay, Brian, so we swill it round, like so.
Yes, swirl it around.
And sniff.
Sniff it, then take it. It's a beautiful wine for the girls to have on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
They'll have a giggly afternoon. Now, I drink a lot of this wine myself. It's Verdelho Chardonnay.
They're all good.
How about trying a red or two?
Yeah, I'd like to try
We
it.
make beautiful reds. Now, this is a blend of wine. It's called Saddleback Mountain Red, and it's a blend of Cabernet Sauvignon, Sangiovese, the Italian Chianti, and Chambourcin.
Chambourcin's the one we picked.
You picked the Chambourcin this morning in the vineyard.
Okay. So it'd have a sweet edge to it.
It will have a lot of edge to it, I can assure you. And the reason our wines are so soft and so smooth, it's all caused through the ocean out there.
Okay, because you're pretty close to the ocean.
We're only a couple of kilometres from the ocean, and the northeast winds blow strong from December through to April when the fruit is all ripening, and the salt is deposited on the windows. If you live near the ocean, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And it all goes onto the vineyard, and we pick the grapes, and salt is a big softening agent.
I'll tell you what, Brian, you've been nothing but hospitable today. It's been absolutely fantastic.
And thanks for the courtesy.
Yeah. Oh,
And
mate.
if you're going into Kiama, be sure and visit the Blowhole.
Okay, yeah, sounds
we'll
great.
do that, mate.
Yeah.
Thanks very much,
with
mate.
your families.
Take care.
Thanks, boys.
See ya.
Thank you.
mate. After a few too many samples, I've let Scott take the wheel and drive us down into Kiama. As Brian suggested, we're going to stop off at the Kiama Blowhole and check out one of the South Coast's most well-known natural wonders.
We're at the Blowhole in Kiama. Definitely worth a look when you're down here. I'm just reading this sign here. The explorer George Bass rode a whaleboat of all things in 1797 down the coast and discovered the Blowhole. And then turned around and kept going and paddled all the way down to Victoria and then paddled back to Botany Bay. Those guys were loonies. so much natural beauty to explore, but we have a huge day planned for tomorrow, so we better make our way to the Kiama cabins, check in and get some rest. There's so many great locations to fish around Kiama, but today we're going to head down to the harbour and jump aboard the MV Cygna. Built in the 70s, it's operated out of Kiama since 1996. Owner-operator Ross O'Brien is taking us out. With a couple of less experienced guests, we're not quite sure what to expect, but we're likely to hook a mixed bag.
It's got all the bells and whistles, this thing.
We're heading out around 3 miles from Kiama Harbour and fishing in 40 metres of water over Broken Reef.
Okay guys, so what do you reckon? All $5 in and see who gets the biggest fish?
Yeah. Someone lend me $5.
Okay, the simple rig we're using today, the Paternoster rig, the old pound snapper lead, down to 2 droppers, 2-0 hooks and squid as bait, braided line, which is ideal in the deep water for fulfilling all the bites, nice heavy duty threadline outfit, and a reasonably heavy rod. Perfect for this bottom fishing. Now we're having a wager, Paul, before I wind this fish in. Oh, I got a nanny.
All good.
Yep. Nanny guy.
Any guy?
Yeah, little fella.
Reef then, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
They're sweet. They're really sweet to eat. You ever eaten them, Scotty?
No.
The way we do them is really good. We skin them.
That size?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to keep it.
Oh, hang on a
And
little
I'll tell
fella.
you, I'll give it a call later.
Okay, we'll put him in the bucket. Two. Oh, he's got two.
I've got two wraps. Fellow header. Pop these guys back, eh?
Sorry, mate.
Illegal 5-minute run?
No, they haven't actually. That's a small female. Yeah, pig fish. They're all female when they're born.
So we're going to hang on to him for the soup, eh? Beautiful.
Yeah, very nice. Paul's on.
Yeah, I've got a good fish on.
Ah, your favourite.
Sergeant Baker. We won't tell you what they call them.
That's a mother-in-law fish, guys.
Don't want one of those.
If you've got a mother-in-law and you don't particularly like her, what you do, you take her this home because she'll be wrapped because it's a big fish. And a bit of luck she'll swallow one of the bones and you won't have a mother-in-law for long.
They'd be good in a soup.
Mate, this is a good one.
Oh, you!
Sorry.
I got a good one.
Bring your rod in.
Hello. That's what I was waiting for.
Well done, young ladies.
Thank you.
That's a bit of a dual effort there. I don't want to do that, but it's up to you.
come on. It's a bit of a lucky dip when you drop a bait down to the bottom out here.
Oh, it's a jacket.
Jacket?
Yeah,
Good size, a nice size reef jacket. Eat very well.
Lines on the tail.
What do you reckon, Paul? Put him in the soup?
Yep, in the soup.
What you got to do, put your thumb in the mouth and then take the hook out, okay? So have a go. That's it, just squeeze. Won't hurt you. That's the girl, in the bucket. And I'll put it in
And then you hook yourself, and that's even better.
Yeah.
We We caught a real mixed bag of fish today, and Kenny is quick to fillet them up, ready for Paul's soup. Well, obviously they don't like prawn down there, so we won't waste it. After a few hours out in the water and a great catch of fish, everyone was feeling a little hungry and cold. So we're heading back to the harbour to get Paul to cook up his famous seafood soup.
So we've been out today with Captain Roscoe on the Cygna. We've had a great day and caught a great selection of fish. It's a bit of a chilly day out there today, and I've had a look at some of the ingredients I brought along with me. So I'm going to throw together a nice seafood soup and give everybody a nice warm treat. I've just pre-oiled a few slices of bread, and now I'm going to char grill it to give it a lovely smoky flavour. So we caught some absolutely beautiful fish today. We've got our pigfish here. Okay, there are a few pin bones just in here, but I'm just going to go right down the middle and get rid of these pin bones. These will go in my stock. For later, you can put these in the fridge. Fantastic for stock. The last thing I want is people choking on a bone today after such a great day. So we're just going to slice these very, very thinly. This is our nunny guy fillets that we've got here. Again, there are a few bones. So we just want to cut away from the centre of the fish. Don't want too many bones in there. And we've also got our Sergeant Baker. Okay, a lot of people throw this fish back, but it's absolutely beautiful in soups. Absolutely superb. Again, we've got a lot of bones that are running down here. I mean, that is an absolutely beautiful piece of fish, really, if you think about it. Look at that, absolute white flesh. People throw it back. I can't believe that we throw it back. Okay, also we've got some leather jackets, scourge of all the fishermen. Leather jacket, absolutely one of the nicest tasting fish in the ocean. More people should eat this. Okay, so just beautiful strips of leather jacket going in there as well. And as you can see, I'm just cutting them thin, just to match the prawns that I've cut up today. These are our prawns that we got today from Kiama Fish Market. Look at the size of these fellas. Absolutely beauties, these. Wow, mealing themselves. I've got some lovely mussels. Okay, what I've done is I've just debearded them. So what we've got left is I've got my beautiful mussels going in the soup. We've got some prawns, some calamari. We've also got some leather jacket, pigfish, and also Sergeant Baker in there, and some beautiful nunny guy. Okay, so we're going to make our fisherman's soup now. We've got it nice and hot at the moment, and we're going to add some of our chilli to this. So I want to put a little bit of kick in there. We're going to burn Roscoe's whiskers off. This is long red chilies. They're not that hot, not like the bird's eye chilies. Next job is we're going to throw our mussels in here. So it's got to be nice and hot. And I'm just going to throw a little bit of the secret ingredient that I put in. And this is our cumin or cumin. Just gives it a lovely flavour. Just comes through and people just aren't too sure what it is. And that's what I'm going to add in there. I'm just going to toss this up. The next job I'm going to do is just to cook these mussels lightly. I'm going to create a little bit of steam. So I've got a little bit of our beautiful Verdelho from the Crooked River Winery. I'm going to throw a lid on here. We're just going to let them mussels steam. Okay, so let's check these mussels. They're starting to open up nicely. Next thing I'm going to do is add my garlic. I don't want to add garlic too early because it will burn in the oil, which gives it a bit of flavour. So a little bit of garlic goes into our soup. Next thing we do is we're going to throw our prawns and our calamari in here. Give these a bit of a turn around. Get them all nicely cooking. It's smelling absolutely wonderful. Now goes in our fish, leather jacket, Sergeant Baker, pigfish, and some beautiful nunny guy. Next thing we're going to add is our sauce. What we've done is we've got some capsicums, some tinned tomatoes, some onion and garlic, and what I've done is just cook that out really, really slowly, and then we've just blitzed it up. Very simple sauce. Just going to add that. That's going to be the base of our zuppa de pesce, or seafood soup. And that goes in now. and we're going to bring this to the boil. So as you can see, it's quite thick. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of our fish stock. So we just use any bits and pieces that are left over from our fish heads, and we bring it up to the boil, and we simmer for 20 minutes. 20 minutes only. And that's all you need to do with a fish stock. Don't boil it any longer than that, because the bones tend to break down, and it sends your fish stock cloudy. All right, so we're going to bring this to the boil. We're going to put this lid back on here now, and then we're going to finish off our soup. It's ready for the rest of the ingredients. First thing, I've got a little bit of cream here. It just smooths off the edge on that chili. Stir that through. Add our parsley. We've got some parsley here for colour. In she goes. Some basil. I've just torn this basil up. This is our pecorino cheese, and this will give it a little bit of saltiness. So you notice I haven't added any salt to this soup because the mussels actually release a lot of salt water into the soup, and it's salty enough. I really don't need any more. I have a little bit of mozzarella here that I'm adding to the soup. We'll mix all this in. Next thing we're going to add the risoni. It looks very similar to rice, but it's actually made from pasta. So we're going to throw this in. Basically what this does is bulk the soup out. This is almost ready to serve now. I'm just going to wait for that cheese to melt. Okay, as you can see, that cheese is melted now. This is ready to eat. Just going to throw a little bit more green in here. A little bit more basil. And we'll take this up to the guys and give them a treat. Don't want to drop it. It's all right, eh? What an incredible weekend away. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on The Hook and the Cook.
Did you know salt was in your washing powders when you do the washing?
No.
You know what it's there for?
Paul doesn't wash. Just
It's there.
I spent many hours surfing these all the way down here in 1970. I blew it.
It's been a dairy farm for at least 120 years.
So it's had plenty of fertiliser.
Yes, and every bottle of wine that we produce has got at least 100 years of cow in it.